What we witnessed yesterday in day 28 of the Karen Read trial was an absolute masterclass. This is what happens. This is what you should expect from an expert who is very passionate about their field of expertise, can take sometimes very difficult concepts and sort of explain them in the most systematic, step-by-step, sort of dumbed-down version so that we all can follow along. You look at every single evidence from multiple angles, multiple speeds, multiple trajectory, multiple everything, so that you get the full entire picture and you systematically rule out what somebody else who claimed to be an expert said before you. Dr. Wolf put on a masterclass in expert testimony yesterday. The prosecution and Dr. Welcher have spent all this time telling us this one thing, and Dr. Wolf disproved every last bit of it. This right here, this tail light that they've put into evidence, this will be the game changer right here, because the jury will be able to look at this thing. They will be able to look at the dimensions. They will be able to look at it and compare it to all of these different photos from what the prosecution has put forward. They'll be able to compare every single one of his experiments with all the comparison photos. But for the first time, they can touch it, they can hit it, and what they're going to see is exactly what he said. Lead outer shell is about 5 millimeters thick. Clear plastic on the inside, the diffuser plastic, that is about 3 millimeters. You put those two things together, 8 millimeters, that equals the size. Just visualize. If you took 4 nickels and stacked them on top of each other, that's how thick it is, just those two things. Then he also testifies that between there, right, so between the red layer and the clear layer, there's an inch to inch and a half. So in order for that damage to be as bad as the prosecution says it is, you got to go through 4 nickels thick plus another inch to inch and a half. And then there was still damage to the inside casing as well. That doesn't come from hitting the elbow. There's no part of these tests where you see any visuals where this tail light broke into over 40 pieces. And then I'm going to show you in a minute the view of 34 Fairview, and we're going to talk about where the taillight pieces were found compared to what we're seeing in Dr. Wolf's tests. But having this bad boy in the jury room, sitting in the middle of the table, I think this sealed the deal. Now to begin, let's go back to Dr. Welcher's, because every single thing that Dr. Welcher said on the stand is exactly what ARCA was essentially paid to dispute. So this is exactly how Dr. Welcher thinks this happened, right? John standing there with a glass in his hand. If you look at the arm, goes along the tail light, and then the elbow actually kind of extends past that round quarter panel piece. Now, as a reminder, before we get started, you'll see this is what they claim. All of this is still intact. It is the corner here that is all blown out, both the red and the diffuser, and then it goes all the way over into here on the side. So around the corner and then all the way back. And then this isn't even touched. But when Wolf did every single test the exact same way that Welcher said, if you hold your arm out and you hold the glass, this part gets damaged in almost every single test. Now, you all remember this. This is where Dr. Welcher did his Blue Man impression. And you can see in this image here, right, it shows exactly what Dr. Wolf is investigating, that the arm goes along the long part of the tail light, and then the elbow basically hits right on the corner. That is what Welcher says caused the entire casing to blow out. And here it is from this angle right here. You see the elbows right there on the edge. This is all important because every single test that Wolf set up is exactly what Welcher set up before him. The problem is Welcher did it at 1.9 to 2 miles per hour. 2 miles per hour, just oopsie, let me get some blue paint on myself. And it is time to see what happens when you hit that arm, a dummy arm, going much, much faster than that. In the 10 mile per hour test, now this one was done in the lab, right? You can see 10 miles an hour on an arm didn't even impact the light, right? There's a little tiny bit of cracking, but that's it. Compared to on the right is the subject taillight. So this is exactly what's in evidence as what Karen's taillight looked like, according to Proctor, when he took possession of Karen's car. that there was basically no red on the front, almost no red on the side. The diffusers were damaged and the black metal plate underneath was all damaged. This is what it looks like when an arm gets hit at 10 miles per hour. 17 miles an hour, a little bit more substantial here in the front. You can see this part of the red, but all of the diffusers still in place and the entire casing on the quarter panel. So this is the part that rounds the corner, right? This is like the corner right here. All of it stays intact. We're over here, completely wiped out, no red whatsoever. The diffuser is cracked and broken. Pieces of the diffuser are missing, and the black metal round thing, like the kind of the support system, is completely jacked. And then you see even over on the side, all of the red is missing along here, and all that's left is way up here in the corner. There's a smidge of red. This is at 17 miles per hour. And this test was done where like the taillight was on electronic handle that just came out and hit the arm, right in the right spot. And what's interesting is I want you to look at this one. Look at how it pushes the arm so far that way that the wrist basically completely snaps back. At 17 miles an hour, I'm sorry, common sense tells me there might be a fracture here. At 17 miles an hour, just a direct hit like this. Look at what it does to the wrist. It just bends the wrist back in such a way that you can't tell me there's not arm damage here at 17 miles per hour. Now the 10 and the 17 were done in the lab using that robot arm that just shoots out. Then they went out into the street with the Lexus that they bought, and they replaced the taillight every single time, which was something Welcher couldn't even like risk breaking one taillight because he didn't want to spend any of his $400,000 to buy another one. And so they went out in the street and they did 15, 24, and 29 miles per hour. They did arms, and then they did a couple of full bodies. The 24 is what I'm going to focus on the most because I think that tells us the most, but I'm going to make another series of videos because I've run out of time. So please come back. I'm going to go into really big detail about that 24 mile an hour hit.